All right, welcome back, guys, again. And now we will start discussing this PyTest. We were okay. So this is our day 11 here, and so let's do the setup first, right? We will create a branch. Before that, we will activate our virtual environment like this, and now get switch, right? We are creating a branch. So let's test shoot, right? This will create a separate branch. For our testing work, okay. So we can test everything without changing anything in main, right? That's why we are creating branch here. Now I have to install the testing tools, right? So pip install. One tool is PyTest. We need it, and second is PyTest coverage. Then HTTPX. That's very important. So PyTest is obviously is our framework, and this PyTest COV is coverage plugin, and this HTTPX is HTTP client, fast API test client. So this is where our test client will ride on, okay. So PyTest is like, this is our actual test framework here, right? It will provide us test discovery, test execution. Test discovery means the functions which are like starting with the test keyword, right? I was explaining like test underscore validate input like this. So we can discover these test execution, then assertion reporting, right? Fixtures, parameterize, and failure reporting. Everything our this PyTest framework will provide us, right? And this PyTest COV is like coverage plugin. So this will add coverage support to the PyTest. So without this PyTest coverage, uh, PyTest means okay, uh, did, did the test pass or not, right? But with coverage, we also ask that okay, which lines of code did those tests execute, right? So the extra findings we can get about the code, like how many lines of code this particular test and all of the tests are executed, right? This is the coverage plugin, right? And this the HTTPX, this HTTPX. So one thing our fast API test will use is test client, right? So from fast API, what we will do, we will import something from fast API dot test client. Okay, we have to import the test client like this, right? So this client of fast API uses HTTPX style functionality underneath it. Okay, so conceptually it is something like that. We have our test client from fast API. Okay, so we have our HTTP client machinery, and we have our fast API application, right? So here we don't need to run a real network server for those tests, right? So this is one of the reasons our test will stay fast, right? Now we have installed them. Now we will freeze our requirements.txt. Okay. Okay. So this command will rewrite the requirement file based on the current environment. Okay. So this PIP freeze and the output override the PIP freeze will give us output and it will override the requirement of txt, right? So what this command do? It writes the entire Python environment, right? Not just these three like newly installed packages. So it will rewrite the entire environment for us, right? And also, like we already discovered earlier that our this file pip freeze, right? It can record the editable git or local installations, right? In forms such as like -e git plus like this, right? So for production projects, what we do is many teams prefers deliberately maintained dependency files, right? Or tools such as Poetry, UV, PIP tools rather than blindly using PIP freeze. So what for this lesson, important point is that we installed the testing toolchain and captured the environment, right? Now we will create our test package. Okay, here let's make some directory in our root test directory tests and init.py. Okay, So this make directory will create a folder. Here you can see your test folder is here, right? And then we create this touch. This will create this file init.py, right? So historically this thing makes the test folder a Python package, right? But modern PyTest doesn't strictly require this init.py for test discovery, okay, in every setup. But having it is completely reasonable, because particularly if you want to package like behavior, right? This is why we created this init.py. So one more thing, we don't want any test to be on the Docker, right, to load. So our production image does not need this test suite, right? So we don't need this in Docker also, right? So to keep the image smaller, what we will do? We will image, like we will separate the runtime artifacts from development or test artifacts, right? So this test artifacts are not runtime artifacts, right? So here what we will do, we add this tests folder in our docker ignore file, okay? Similarly like ve and vn and all, right? So let's do it, tests select. So this is like this, right? Here we have done that. Now we have to add the PyTest configuration also. Okay, so in our pyproject.toml file, right, we have to give it inside what we will do is here we can write it like this: tool.pytest options, okay, then what we will do, we will test paths is equal to test, is a test path, and then add add ops equal to verbose like means that show every test name and result. Okay, it is very nice to see our test names and okay. So let's understand this. What I have written here is tool.pytest.ini options, right? So this will tell our PyTest. Here is our PyTest configuration. Okay. Tool we are using which is PyTest, right? And these are the configurations, right? It will live inside our pyproject.yml file. So our larger idea is that we should inside this pyproject file we should have this build system. We should have all the project metadata like this here, right? Build configuration here, and we have also PyTest configuration here package configuration here, right? So we want that this one file pyproject.yml should become a centralized configuration file for us, right? And next thing we did is here. Normally PyTest has some discovery rules, right? Here we are explicitly saying tests folder, right? Is where you have to look for. So therefore PyTest will automatically search inside the test folder. Right? We don't have to write like PyTest like this. We don't have to write the command like PyTest test like this, right? It will, if we write only PyTest, then it will all automatically look for this test folder every time. This adopts V is like verbose instead of any dot and all, right? So what we do is if we get a individual test names, you will look like test models.py, test review is negative. So if it is passed or not, every test name, right? So this is very useful for us to see when we are debugging and we are building things, right? If everything is working or not. Right. So you will see why V was used. Okay. And one more thing to mention here, very important, why pyproject.yml here, why we are using this. So pyproject.yml is the single home for tool configuration. Okay. So PyTest and soon we will use rough coverage all in one committed file, right? So this is one of the important engineering idea. Instead of having like different pytest.ini, rough.ini, some other tool.ini, right? Many modern Python projects they keep a centralized configuration inside the pyproject.yml. So this our repository will become very easy to understand, right? Now we have to create a file test models, right? So test models.py here like this. You see, right? So we can write this file. So let's write something inside this file also. Here we will describe first what this file is all about, right? Where we will learn the rocket string. This is about we are writing unit tests for review radar dot models, right? Okay. So first we have to import our package, right? Uh, so which works from everywhere because we did the editable install on day 6, right? So this was the single biggest reason that our test setup feels effortless today, right? So first we have to import the package from review radar dot models, right? We have to import review right, like this. So as you can see, we have one package here. Not here. Let me show you. Its source. This is our review package. Here, this one, right? So we have our models.py, right? From the models, we have importing class review, right? If it is negative, positive, or everything, right? If it is working or not, we are seeing that, right? So here we are importing that, and we will define a function called test review is negative for like low ratings, right? First, so we are importing things, right, here. So we don't have to write any class here, right? So it will test the same object production code will use. So and this is like working here, like because what we did was pip install e dot, we did that, right? So because of that, our environment knows that this review radar is an installed package, right? So without any proper package installation, right, test can turn into a like errors like module not found or something like that, right? So package structure and installation discipline make testing much easier here. This is we are writing first test, like test review is a negative for low ratings, right? So PyTest will discover this because we are writing this something like the test underscore like this, right? So this is file name is like test underscore models.py, right? Inside that we have this test underscore some function name. So these functions are like conventional test names. Also, the function name should also describe the behavior and the function is promising, right? Not like test 1, test 2, right? But we have to like write some like stability is negative or not like that, right? So when it fails, uh, let me write this first, then I will explain everything. Okay. Now next thing is here review is equal to we have found the review, right? Inside it we are giving some review. Review ID is 1, let's say, and like this, and text we are giving is equal to bad product, right, like this, and rating is equal to 2. So as you can see here in our models, in our review, what is expect from us? It expects from us review ID as a review. It expects from our text. It expects rating, and verification we don't have to provide because the default here is always there, right? And so inside this we can check like this class we have some functions also. If this is negative or positive, everything we have some functions also. We can call these functions after we initialize it, right? Okay, so this is our review here. So you see one thing, this is our arrange part, right? Arrange, act, and what was the third thing? Arrange, act, and assert, right? So this is our arrange part. Here you can see arrange, then act, right, then assert. This was the pattern, right? Pattern we have. So this is the arrange part for us. We have provided the created a review, right? I can write it here also. And then I have called I have to call the function also, right? So assert, what we have to check, this assert, after assert we have to check the condition, right? Review, right, is negative. From review we are calling a method is negative, right, and is true, right? If it is giving true, then assert consider because 2 rating is false, right? You can see in the model, if a rating is less than or equal to 2, then it's negative, it will return true, right? So here in this class we are calling this function, and is true, then it is working, and this test will pass, right? So this step for us will be act, because we are calling the function is negative, and we are checking also the constituent. So assert also is working here, right? So this is our first test, guys, right? Next thing we can define is another test. Define test the review is not negative for rating 3, like this, right? Because you can see for rating greater than or equal to 4, it's positive, right? And if it is negative, then it's true, and so 3 is neither negative nor positive, right? Here, so let's say this is a very interesting test to do here, right? So test review is not negative for rating 3. So what we will do, we will create a review. This is asset part, right, is equal to review here, and we pass review id as 2 here, and text is equal to it's fine, not good and not bad also, right, just fine. Rating is 3. You see, this was the arrange part. Then after that we will assert the condition, assert review dot is negative, it should be false, right? So if it is returning false, so it should all our is negative function only return false when the rating is less than or equal to 2, either, right? So either then it will return false. So if it returns false, then our test will pass, right? So this is our assert. And in next text we can do define test word count counts words or not, right? So we have a word count function in our models, this review word count, if it is counting words or not, right? So we will test that. First we have to create a review is equal to review id is 3 here, and text is like this product is great, let's say, and rating is, let's say, 5, right? So what we right, this is arrange step. Then we assert review dot word count. So how many words are there? 4, right? So if it is equal to 4, then it's a test will pass, either then as this test will fail, right? So let's go through it again. Here we created this is arrange, right? This is our prepare situation, and rating is 2 because our business rule is apparently that I have showed you. And so here also one thing, guys, what we did was this test is very important because this is called the boundary value analysis, right? So for positive we have greater than is equal to 4 rating, and for negative we need less than is equal to 2 rating, right? So 3 was immediately outside the boundary of negative, right? And immediately before the boundary of the positive also, right? Now what we will do is we will run this spy test here. If you will know everything now, right? Okay, like whatever we have configured, like in our project type file project of TO1 file, where it is here you see test folder, it will load automatically into it. If I just run PyTest here, and we like it will show everything which test is passing and which is not passing, right? Let's see here, every test has passed, and how many what is the okay. So here you can see PyTest cache, your configure file is this, test path is this, plugins is coverage this, right? And collected 3 items, test slash test models.py. Inside this test file we have this test review is negative, this test passed. This is unit test, guys. This test also passed, this also passed, and you see here 36 66 100% coverage. Right, so it's passed in 0.02 seconds. Right, and let's check if something fails or not, right? Because our project is editable, right? So it will catch up with this only. So let's do negative edge less than equal to 3 value, right here. So this should fail, right? So let me see what happens when I do this. See, as you can see is this was passed, this failed, this passed. So this is negative. Review radar here. Assert review is negative is false. Assert review is false. Okay. So where true is negative, where negative review to negative here, and assertion error it is showing, right? You can see this test has failed. You can see like it like it's showing the anatomy also, like which test failed, right? Which line actual and what I expected, right? So we just changed a business rule, and this test should code in just 0.0 seconds, 0.6 seconds, right? No clicking needed here. So actual value was true, but we expected false, right? So this is much better than manually discovering the problem 6 weeks later and all, right? So this is your red green rhythm. This you will change that rhythm for your whole career. This comes from a red green refactor philosophy, right? Red test fails, then we go to green from that, right? Make implementary satisfy test, and then refactor it, improve the implementation while test protects the behavior, right? Okay, so that is was our test, guys. Let's make this again 2 right here, and if I run again test here, then it will pass again, right? So we have reverted the change, green again here. Now next thing, we will test the loader, right? We will use the fixtures in that also, as you know what the fixtures are, right? We will use those fixtures. So let's create that file. So test underscore loader.py. You can see here test loader is here, right? So first let me implement this file, then I will explain you everything what is it all about. So this is just a unit tests for review radar dot loader package, right? validation uh, and file handling also, right. So for first I have to import PyTest tool, right. Then after that, because why I need this PyTest in this and not in this, right? Because here we have to use fixtures and all, right? So it will PyTest will provide that framework from review radar dot loader, right. We will import our load reviews from validate review mode functions, that you can see here loader.py here, and from here we have this function called validate review, and this define load review, right. So we have to do that, and test loader here, and now first thing we have to validate the review, right? The gatekeeper promise, like if this review is valid or not, right? We have to test that. So we will define a test valid row becomes review or not, right? So if it is becoming, so we will create a review first, right? Row is equal to like this. Just a minute, guys. I will be back in a minute. Yes, just a minute. Mhm.